better about herself when they come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get your old up there that can love you old.
Shannon Sharpe is no stranger to controversy, but this time the headlines aren't about fiery opinions or on-air clashes. They're about something far graver. Once hailed as an NFL icon and one of the most outspoken voices in sports media, Sharpe now faces accusations so severe they could demolish everything he's achieved.
My family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup. Coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all of you.
A colossal $50 million lawsuit has rocked the sports world like a sledgehammer, charging him with some of the vilest conduct imaginable. This isn't merely a blow to his image, it's a total collapse. The lawsuit depicts a bleak scene of deceit, exploitation, and treachery, and it's not just the audience who are stunned.
If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke out of you when I see you.
Is Shannon Sharpe the next Justin Baldoni? Well, the NFL legend and broadcaster is definitely taking a play from Justin's playbook. After a $50 million lawsuit of SA, he is now dropping a treasure trove of text messages that he says declares his innocent.
Industry insiders, former colleagues, and even some of Sharpe's staunchest allies are reportedly rushing to detach themselves from the turmoil. For a man who built a career critiquing athletes and demanding accountability, the irony is stark. As the case unfolds, the allegations keep mounting, each detail striking harder than the previous.
The text message said, I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're screwing me.
My lawyers are telling, the legal team is telling me that we can't authenticate it if he said that, and he's not denying it.
The sports world is watching, shocked, as one of its most prominent figures battles to preserve his career and perhaps his liberty from slipping away. But the biggest shock, this scandal is only just beginning. If anyone knows the true Shannon Sharpe, it's Skip Bayless. These two shared a desk for years, turning their fiery debates on Undisputed into must-watch TV. But now that partnership seems like a ticking bomb that finally exploded.
This is his statement that he did not mean it. It was in the heat of the moment, in the middle of an argument.
That's right, Ellison. Sharpe's attorney says his client's accuser is making, quote, a maliciously false claim, and Sharpe's attorney is promising a lawsuit to, quote, hold her accountable.
In a twist nobody foresaw, Skip Bayless has stepped forward, breaking his silence on what he calls the toxic culture behind the scenes at Fox Sports. According to sources, Bayless didn't merely suggest dysfunction, he allegedly verified it. The culture, he claims, wasn't just harmful, it was outright perilous. While Bayless carefully avoided naming names, the implications are unmistakable. Sources say Bayless directly acknowledged that certain high-profile
Shannon Sharpe's willingness to pay is not an admission of anything that he did wrong. It was a willingness to pay for the protection of his family and himself.
If the former football star would proceed with legal action if the accuser were to drop her lawsuit, and Sharpe's attorney says he does not know what Sharpe would do in that scenario, but says his recommendation would be to move forward with legal action.
Figures at Fox abused their authority, turning the network into what he termed a haven for predators. His statements have fans and media outlets pointing the finger squarely at Sharpe. It's a betrayal that feels intimate. These two were co-hosts, rivals, even frenemies, but now Bayless appears to be abandoning the mess, fueling the fire instead of supporting his former co-star. Whether intentional or not, His comments have only amplified the public outrage. But what exactly did Bayless say?
And Shannon himself is dropping receipts. And I gotta say, this doesn't look good for his accuser at all.
And she says that she alleges that was brutal. Like it was very it was aggressive.
And why did he choose this moment to speak out? We're barely scratching the surface. The lawsuit filed against Sharpe isn't just shocking, it's crushing. The plaintiff, listed as Jane Doe to shield her identity, claims that what began as a relationship with the Hall of Famer rapidly turned into something horrific. According to court documents, Doe alleges that Sharpe repeatedly violated every boundary.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I do see some similarities here to the Justin case. Look, Justin has now, and Johnny Depp to his credit as well.
Now, this woman is alleging that Shannon Sharpe multiple times over the course of a 2-year relationship. The relationship that they had was...
She claims he assaulted her multiple times over the course of their relationship, but it didn't end there. She accuses him of covertly recording private moments and then distributing those videos without her knowledge or consent. The treachery, she claims, left her emotionally shattered. The accusations span from 2023 through January 2025, meaning this wasn't a one-time event.
Who are being falsely accused to drop their receipts in the most public and aggressive way possible, because if you don't, the PR can deem you guilty before you even get to a court of law.
At that point, she said that they were in a they were in an actual relationship. They were in Vegas together. So when that happened, she had already kind of been, in this thing where he's verbally abusive, allegedly, but she thought that they were together.
These were repeated acts spread out over years, with the most recent incident allegedly just months before this lawsuit was filed. The complaint also details how Sharpe used his authority, status, and influence to isolate her. The woman claims Sharpe manipulated her, silenced her through gaslighting, and even threatened retaliation if she ever spoke out.
He tells her and threatens her allegedly to say that she ever does that again. But the part of it, she says that she was allegedly anally twice and that it was very, very brutal.
Plaintiff alleged that the essays took place after a rocky, years-long, aggressive relationship with the sports commentator.
It's a harrowing narrative, one that has many fans questioning whether the outspoken commentator they watch daily was concealing something far darker behind the scenes. Jane Doe's legal team isn't relenting either. They've reportedly gathered text messages, voicemails, and even videos that they say substantiate their case. These aren't vague claims, they come with evidence. While Sharpe has vehemently denied the accusations, calling them nothing more than a money grab, the case has already inflicted severe damage.
Sharpe and Doe met at a gym in LA in 2023 when she was 20 years old and he was in his mid-50s. Doe claimed that Club Shay Show host told her during the encounter that he would buy her fake tatas.
Sponsorships are reportedly withdrawing, Sharpe's media appearances are being quietly canceled, his once commanding media presence crumbling daily. But there's more to this story, and what comes next could be the final blow. Just when it seemed things couldn't worsen for Shannon Sharpe, the shadows of his past resurfaced, and they're not fading quietly. As this $50 million lawsuit dominates headlines, people are delving into Sharpe's history, and what they're uncovering is troubling.
He demanded complete control over her time and body, expecting her to be at his home, on his schedule, at his command whenever he called, attorney Tony Busby wrote in the document.
One accusation, buried under the rug for over a decade, is now resurfacing in the spotlight. Back in 2010, a female colleague at Fox Sports accused Sharpe of physically attacking her during a dispute, claiming he choked her during a heated altercation at the network studio. At the time, the matter was resolved behind closed doors. Lawyers
Doe became frightened when they allegedly got into the explosive argument, which the former player visibly had a arm, on his person, or I guess in the room.
Money allegedly changed hands. The case was settled privately and quietly. No courtroom drama, no press conferences. But make no mistake, the allegations were grave, and now that incident is being pulled back into the conversation. Legal experts are noting how this older accusation suggests a disturbing pattern, a history of alleged aggression toward women that Sharpe can't easily dismiss.
Plaintiff tried sharing her location with her friend's phone just in case, but Sharpe saw her doing this, and the moment he realized what she was doing, grabbed her, told her, "If you ever do that again, I will effing kick."
Social media is ablaze. with fans questioning how many other incidents might have been concealed to protect one of Fox Sports' biggest stars. The timing of this resurfaced claim couldn't be worse for Sharpe. With the current lawsuit capturing national attention, this older allegation feels less like an isolated error and more like the first domino that triggered the collapse. But if Sharpe thought he could outtalk his way out of this, like one of his on-air debates, he's learning the hard way. This is a fight he can't just talk his way through. Shannon Sharpe isn't retreating. In fact, he's come out fighting. From the moment the lawsuit hit the news cycle, Sharpe's camp has branded the entire case a shakedown, calling the accuser a liar and accusing her of trying to profit from his fame. His legal team rushed to the media, releasing a series of text messages and screenshots that they claimed proved the relationship was consensual and affectionate. They framed these messages as the definitive proof that will clear Sharpe's name. But here's the issue. The accuser's attorney came prepared, and they hit back forcefully. The plaintiff's legal team responded by revealing what they say are incriminating audio recordings, tapes that allegedly capture Sharpe making threatening and aggressive statements toward the woman. According to sources close to the case, one of the recordings features Sharpe raising his voice, lashing out in what they describe as an unhinged and volatile tone, allegedly telling the accuser that nobody will believe you if she ever tried to expose him. Suddenly, those text messages don't feel like the clean defense Sharpe's team hoped they would be. Even more damaging, reports suggest there are witnesses ready to testify. Friends of the accuser who allegedly saw the bruises, heard the threats, and now stand ready to back her claims in court. And as this case gears up for what could be a messy, high-profile legal showdown, Sharpe's usual charm and sharp wit are powerless here. The question now isn't just about guilt or innocence, it's about whether Sharpe's defense can withstand the mounting evidence stacking up against him. But while Sharpe scrambles to salvage his reputation, his former co-host, Skip Bayless, is dealing with his own troubling scandals. If Skip Bayless thought he could sit on the sidelines and play the role of righteous whistleblower, he might want to reconsider that plan. Because while Sharpe is busy fighting for his career, Bayless is caught in his own storm of allegations, and this one hits disturbingly close to home. A former Fox Sports hairstylist has filed a lawsuit accusing Bayless of sexual harassment, claiming he offered her a staggering $5 million for intimate favors. The hairstylist, who worked directly with Bayless on set, says the sports host repeatedly crossed professional boundaries, making unwanted advances and offering cash in exchange for personal attention. But this wasn't just a one-off comment or awkward misunderstanding. According to the lawsuit, Bayless exhibited a pattern of inappropriate behavior, turning what should have been a professional environment into what the plaintiff describes as a hostile and degrading workplace. The stylist claims that when she rejected his advances, her hours were cut, and she was quietly pushed out of the studio. And this isn't the first time Bayless has been accused of mistreating staff behind the scenes. Industry whispers about his alleged bullying and toxic attitude have been circulating for years. But this lawsuit is the first time those rumors have landed in concrete legal filings. So while Bayless may have been quick to point fingers at Sharpe, the spotlight is now glaring back at him, and it raises an uncomfortable question. Was the culture at Fox Sports broken because of one bad apple, or was this rot running much deeper? As both men face lawsuits that could permanently taint their careers, the sports world is left wondering whether this is just the beginning of a much larger reckoning. The repercussions are swift and utterly devastating. Shannon Sharpe has now stepped away from his high-profile role at ESPN, a move that feels less like a pause and more like an acknowledgement that the walls are closing in. Meanwhile, Skip Bayless has officially departed from Fox Sports, quietly exiting the stage as the lawsuits against him gain momentum. But the fallout doesn't stop with these two. The entire network is under scrutiny. Fox Sports is now facing multiple lawsuits, each one exposing more flaws in what insiders are calling a profoundly broken system, a place where power shielded the wrong people, and silence was the unspoken rule. The unraveling of Sharpe and Bayless's careers serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked power and misconduct. As the legal battles unfold, the sports media landscape braces for further revelations. The once celebrated duo now stands as a cautionary tale of fame, power, and the fall that follows.